Okay, so I've been trying to get a rear view mirror adapter, whatever you want to call it, so that I can go from the Mercedes rear view mirror so I can hook up my rear view mirror dash cam deal. But none of the parts that I've been able to track down seem to work. So I found this one, and I'll put the link in the description. Let's see if I can get a... There it goes. So it's got like the little arms in there, and this goes from the Mercedes to like a standard mirror mount. And see if I can do this one-handed without dropping it. It fits. So perfect. So I'm gonna go get the rest of the bracket, put it together, and maybe we can get some of these wires out of here. All right, so here's our little adapter. This is the adapter for this mirror. So it's like 3 pieces. So you have the adapter plate so that your mirror can screw to an adapter instead of being bungee corded onto your rear view mirror. Then there's this adapter, and then this adapter converts it over. So that slides in there like that. There's a screw right here on the bracket. There's a grub screw in here, and I flipped it over. So it might be hard to see. I flipped it over so the pointy side was on the side that goes towards the glass. So this will lock into the part on the windshield. So I'm going to test and make sure that works, and then I can mount that. Okay, so it's on. Of course, it's not straight or anything. So one of these is the camera, one of these is the power. I still need to install the GPS module, which I'll put right here somewhere. And then that's why I've left this open, so I can feed the wire, all the extra wire, up inside of the cubby here. And then we can put that all back together. And we've got our mic for the hands-free. All right, so that's good. And then all I got to do is wire up down there, and then we'll have power up here. All right, so I was having a problem with getting this grub screw to make this tight. So what I did is I took a zip tie, and it was just wide enough to fit down the center track. I slid it through. You can see it's poking out right here. And then I tightened the grub screw, and now that's nice and tight, so I can cut this off, and that should hold it, and then I can put the mirror in place. I hooked up the wires, most of them, so they're all hooked up. So like I said, I still have to go down there and power it up, and then I still have to wire the camera, but now I can hook this up and put the screw, which is right there, tighten that down, and that should be good. Okay, so I tightened up the screw, and now everything's nice and tight. It's not wiggly. Oops, zoom out a little bit. So it's nice and tight, not wiggly. So now I just have to figure out the power, how I'm going to set that up real quick. I think one of them needs to be grounded, and then there's a constant hot, and then a keyed on and off. That way you don't just have that thing running 24/7. I could, if I wanted to. There is a adapter for cigarette if I just wanted to power it up, but I know it works because I've had it hooked up before. So I guess the next part will be to wire it. Okay, so before I had run all my lines along the headliner piece, down the rail, behind the dash. I left this open so I could see the fuses down inside there. And what we have is our little converter box, whatever you want to say. This says red is, yellow is battery. Huh. Kind of different. Usually yellow is the keyed source. They're saying red is the keyed source. All right, so I need a constant hot, I need a ground, and I need a key source. So I'm going to have to figure that out real quick. Kind of trying to see. Of course, these are mini fuses, and these are all regular fuses. So I might need an adapter. Actually, I should have an adapter. Hold on, let's look in this box. Let's see. Well, that's a mini adapter. That's a mini adapter. That's a full size adapter. Shit. Yeah, I don't know. Thought I had an adapter in this box. So I have a full size adapter that goes from one fuse to that, and then you can carry the power out. That's not what I need. I have 2 minis in and out, and that's not what I need. So I have a choice. I hate messing with these little thin wires. They're such a pain in the ass. So I need an adapter that goes from the regular one down to this one. I think I'm gonna look online real quick and see if I can just order one. I'm tired of messing around. So let me figure that out real quick. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Back in a second. All right, so we've got to figure out where we can snatch some power from, at what's keyed and what's constant. I believe these two 7.5 fuses is for the radio, so those should be keyed. And I think any of these down here are constant power. So based off my book. So I do have my own meter, and I do have just this regular cheapo tester, which actually works pretty good because you can just put the pins on the fuses and it'll let you know which ones are hot and which ones are not. Kind of nice. So we'll do that real quick, and we'll see what we got. And then most likely what I'm going to end up doing is cutting these wires, because I don't have anything that is small, and I don't like the fact that these fuses seem to be permanently mounted in there. I haven't been able to figure out how to get them out. So if you blew a fuse, I don't know what you would do. So what I'm going to do, because these are all the larger fuses, I bought this kit that has this guy. So if you, the first one here would be a spot that already has a fuse, and that would be that one, and then the secondary spot would be for this line here. And so all I'm going to do is connect them in, and I have those soldered connections that you just use the heat on. So most likely we'll just swap those out and do that real quick, and then we just got to find a ground, and I can probably use something like that as a ground. So we'll see. Just looking in here. All right, so let me figure out where we got power and what's everything. I got my manuals here, so I know which fuses are which. All right, so I ended up using a couple fuses right there. That was mostly because of a space issue. But it was weird because this yellow thing here, it says that the yellow, I know it's upside down, but the yellow is supposed to be battery and the red was supposed to be auxiliary. But when I hooked up the yellow wire to a battery source, the mirror came on automatically with everything off. So I switched them around and now it seems to work. It turns on and off with the key. Right now it's complaining that there's no backup camera hooked up because it's not hooked up yet, but the wiring's hooked up. So now I just need to zip tie all this back up, put this panel back on, put that cover back on, and we're done here. So I can clean up all of this mess, and then just need to finish doing the, I guess I'll hunt down the light and put all that back together because we're done here. So, all right, so I just went in the back, plugged the camera in. Right now it's just off, so we'll put the key in. The power is up. I don't know if you can see that very well. There we go. We close the curtains. Now you can see out the rear view. So the camera's working. It's nice and clear. The camera's sitting on a bucket in the back of the van, so it's not actually pointing at anything. But so that all works. Take the key out. Stereo and everything goes off immediately, but this stays on for a few seconds. I think it stays on for like 35 seconds or half a minute or whatever. But yeah, it turns off. So we're going ahead and put this panel and shit back together and clean this up a bit, and then get ready to move to the back.